Hello guys and welcome to my first speed creative sim. So today I am making Santa Claus and his family. So I am making Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and they have three children, but I made them also their helpers. Because Santa Claus has a lot of helpers on the North Pole or the moon or, wherever he lives. I don't know. It was quite fun making. I made this family for a speed build, which I'm going to release on Christmas Eve. You might have seen in my previous video, the Christmas guest bathroom, or heard that I I'm doing like a Christmas special where I am reading Christmas stories. So today I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to read some Christmas poems. There's going to be 3 different ones, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Let me just first talk a little bit about the speed CAS. It was quite fun making Santa Claus, choosing all the clothes for him. I made him kind of like a classy Santa Claus, where he has like the long hair, the wavy beard. I think I put him in some really nice formal suits. It's like super slick. Mrs. Claus is also very classy. She got the dress from Vintage Glamour stuff, which kind of reminds me of a robe, but you can wear it full time. Who cares? She's Mrs. Claus, she can do what she wants. And their kids, I generated them where I play with DNA. So there's 1 boy and 2 girls, and in this speed CAS, their names are Kris Kringel, Amelia Kringel, and Kristina Kringel is the name of the first daughter. The son is Kristian Kringel, but then the 3rd daughter, Amelia, was like, no, I want a child with a name that starts with an A, so her name is Ava Kringel. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let me know if you want some more speed creative sims. I have 2 up my sleeve that's waiting. It's I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it's 2 musicians, some rock stars. So yeah, let me know if you want to see those after New Year's. Hope you enjoy. A Letter from Santa Claus by Mark Twain. My dear Susie Clemens, I have received and read all the letters which you and your little sister have written me. I can read your and your baby sister's jagged and fantastic marks without any trouble at all. But I had trouble with those letters which you dictated through your mother and the nurses, for I am a foreigner and cannot read English writing well. You will find that I made no mistakes about the things which you and your baby sister ordered in your own letters. I went down your chimney at midnight when you were asleep and delivered them all myself, and kissed both of you too. But there were 1 or 2 small orders which I could not fill because we ran out of stock. There was a word or 2 in your mama's letter which I took to be a trunk full of doll's clothes. Is that it? I will call at your kitchen door about 9 o'clock this morning to inquire, but I must not see anybody and I must not speak to anybody but you. When the kitchen doorbell rings, George must be blindfolded and sent to the door. You must tell George he must walk on tiptoes and not speak, otherwise he will die some day. Then you must go to the nursery and stand on a chair or the nurse's bed and put your ear to the speaking tube that leads down to the kitchen, and when I whistle through it, you must speak in the tube and say, "Welcome, Santa Claus." Then I will ask whether it was a trunk you ordered or not. If you say it was, I shall ask you what color you want the trunk to be. And then you must tell me every single thing in detail which you want the trunk to contain. Then when I say goodbye and a Merry Christmas to my little Susie Clemens, you must say goodbye, good old Santa Claus. I thank you very much. Then you must go down into the library and make George close all the doors that open into the main hall, and everybody must keep still for a little while. I will go to the moon and get those things, and in a few minutes I will come down the chimney that belongs to the fireplace that is in the hall. If it is a trunk you want, of course. Because I couldn't get such a thing as a trunk down the nursery chimney, you know. If I should leave any snow in the hall, you must tell George to sweep it into the fireplace, for I haven't time to do such things. George must not use a broom but a rag, else he will die some day. If my boot should leave a stain on the marble, George must not wholly stone it away. Leave it there always, in memory of my visit. And whenever you look at it or show it to anybody, you must let it remind you to be a good little girl. Whenever you are naughty, or someone points to that mark which your good old Santa Claus's boot made on the marble, what will you say, little sweetheart? Goodbye for a few minutes till I come down to the world and ring the kitchen doorbell. Your loving Santa Claus, whom people sometimes call the Man in the Moon. The Boy Who Laughed at Santa Claus. In Baltimore there lived a boy. He wasn't anybody's joy. Although his name was Jabez Dawes, his character was full of flaws. In school he never led his classes. He hid old ladies' reading glasses. His mouth was open when he chewed, and elbows to the table glued. He stole the milk of hungry kittens, and walked through doors marked no admittance. He said he acted thus because there wasn't any Santa Claus. Another trick that trickled Jabez was crying boo at little babies. He brushed his teeth, they said in town, sideways instead of up and down. Yet people pardoned every sin and viewed his antics with a grin, till they were told by Jabez Dawes there isn't any Santa Claus. Deploring how he did behave, his parents swiftly sought their grave. They hurried through the portals pearly, and Jabez left the funeral early. Like whooping cough from child to child, he sped to spread the rumors wild. Sure as my name is Jabez Dawes, there isn't any Santa Claus. Slunk like a weasel or a martin through nursery and kindergarten, whispering low to every tot, there isn't any, no there's not. The children wept all Christmas Eve, and Jabez chortled up his sleeve. No infant dared hang up his stocking for fear of Jabez' ribald mocking. He sprawled on his untidy bed, fresh malice dancing on his head, when presently with scalp a tingle, Jabez heard a distant jingle. He heard the crunch of sleigh and hoof, crispy alighting on the roof. What good to rise and bar the door, a shower of soot was on the floor. What was beheld by Jabez Dawes? The fireplace full of Santa Claus? Then Jabez fell upon his knees with cries of don't and pretty please. He howled, I don't know where you read it, but anyhow I never said it. Jabez, replied the angry saint, it isn't I, it's you that ain't. Although there is a Santa Claus, there isn't any Jabez Dawes. Said Jabez with impudent whim, oh yes there is, and I am him. Your magic don't scare me, it doesn't. And suddenly he found he wasn't. From grimy feet to grimy locks, Jabez became a jack-in-the-box. An ugly toy with spring unsprung, forever sticking out his tongue. The neighbor heard his mournful squeal. They searched for him, but not with zeal. No trace was found of Jabez Dawes, which led to thunderous applause. And people drank a loving cup, and went and hung their stockings up. All you who sneer at Santa Claus, beware the fate of Jabez Dawes, the saucy boy who mocked the saint. Donner and Blitzen licked off his paint. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, by Major Henry Livingstone Jr., previously believed to be by Clement Clark Moore. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hope that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from their bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his courses they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, O Comet, on Cupid, on Dasher, on Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the courser they flew, with a sleigh full of toys in St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my hand there was a turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples so merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him explain ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."